Hey everyone, this is Justin back with an engineer's perspective. And good morning and God bless America. I hope you guys are having a great time out there. Today I just shot the Pioneer X video, and now I'm going to do a video on the leather slip that it's in, the Springbok Rogue 2.0. Is that what it is? This leather slip is handmade by a fella or a gal or fellas and gals in Canada, and it can be purchased off of Etsy. So I really like getting my leather goods off of Etsy because you can get them for good prices from small operations that are making them by hand in their garage or wherever, and I've had really good luck. I've got a Naze leather holster for my Leatherman Charge. I've got this. My wallet is a leather wallet that was made in London. So, like international. This one's from Canada. The Leatherman is from Texas, and the wallet's from England. So, it's kind of cool. But let's talk about this one specifically. So, let's do some specs, I guess. I don't know how much it weighs, so I'm sorry. But its size, fully loaded, we're going to keep with the communist units, is about 75 millimeters. So 3 inches by 100 millimeters, so 4 inches. So that's its rough size. As you can see, what it carries is a flashlight, some sort of knife, Victorinox, whatever, and then a pin. In this case, I've got a Fisher bullet pin because I wanted something that wasn't going to protrude out the top or the bottom. I'm sure there's other options, but I knew I wanted to get the brass bullet pin, so there it is. Why did I choose this one specifically? So once again, I just went on Etsy because I wanted that personal touch, but I knew I wanted something that was fairly small in cross section. So sometimes when they make these, instead of having this loop here and a loop here, it'll just be 2 pieces of leather sandwiched on top of each other. And you can kind of see how this middle pocket like flares out on this edge, right? Like, because it's sandwiched at the edge here and then stitched. So there's like this extra meat. In this case, it's utilized for this pin. But when you just do the 2 sandwiches, you've got this extra meat on this side for the pin and on this side for the light, and it gets really bulky really, really fast. Like, instead of being 3 inches wide, theoretically here it probably wouldn't actually be, but it'd be on the order of 100 and it'd be 3 times this number. So 120 millimeters, so that'd be 5 inches wide. So that'd be a fat guy. So I knew I wanted to avoid that. And the solution was, I think this is really elegant. For the light, it's this leather loop, which looks really pretty. I don't know if that cutout does anything, but it's cool. So that saves on the light side. And then this fabric loop is just genius. You can buy it with or without, but I bought it with it because I knew I wanted to do the pin. And I was like, worst case scenario, I just leave it flapping or cut it off. But that is just so minimal to accomplish the task. So this is a really great design. Yeah, that's how I chose it, really looking at that form factor, and I knew I wanted it to hold the Pioneer X or the Compact. These were the main candidates. They're about the same size, so it holds them about equally well. Excuse me. And you can shake it out. Now that it's broken in, this took time to break it in. But it's in there on the tighter side, so usually I have to grip it pretty good and pull it out. Oh, excuse me, I keep burping. So that does that perfectly. Other knives I carry in here are mostly the Cadet. That's what I'll switch up between these two, is the Cadet. And this is stretched out quite a bit for the Cadet, so if you flip it over, it will fall out. But there's enough friction added from this leather that it definitely will hold it in your pocket better than just throwing it into your pocket. So I have lost my very first cadet I ever owned, and it was like a Cutlery Shop exclusive green one, so you can't replace it. And this, I think, would prevent that. So I haven't had it slip out of my pocket, the cadet, when I'm wearing this, but I don't think it would. I just don't think it would. So using it actually, so when do I carry this? Pretty much, there's two styles of pants that I wear. There's jeans, which, you know, everybody wears, but the thing to note with a jean is it's got like a straight, ooh, just bumped you there, sorry, a straight sided top, and then the pocket goes down from there. So I will just throw the Pioneer X or Compact down into my pocket, and it ends up kind of rotating down like that in this pocket. But in order for it to slip out, it would have to go all the way up and out. Doesn't happen. But what does happen is on pretty much every other pocket, so chinos or sweatpants or anything like that, is it's a side entering pocket. You know, if you look at your pants, like the seam is straight up and down, and it comes in from the side and down in there, you know, like that. And that will just whoop, slip right out of there, especially if you sit down in like a lazy boy or something, or down on the ground where your legs are slightly elevated. That will just slide right out. So that's when I carry this guy. Is if I mean, and this works in sweatpants too. That's the beauty of this, is you can have all this firepower in sweatpants comfortably, whereas you could not do that prior. And the same thing goes for like, yeah, regular like cargo shorts or whatever, is in one pocket you get all this firepower very easily and readily. You just stick it in there. On jeans, honestly, it's kind of uncomfortable for jeans. I don't like it on jeans. It adds a little bit too much bulk for my fat thighs. I got big thighs. So, and the jeans tend to be tight in that area, so it looks like this just like giant thing sticking out. Whereas in, yeah, cargo shorts, like it's almost unnoticeable. Like it looks like a wallet if you notice it. So anything but jeans, that's what I use this for pretty much. I carry it in my front left pocket. I don't want to sit on it and to, you know, give me back issues in the long run. And it's not terribly uncomfortable, but just for the back issues. And then, you know, so if I did put it in my back pocket, I'd be inclined to take it out and do that all the time, and I definitely don't want to do that. So that's kind of when I carry it. And now, really quick note on knife retrieval. So this Pioneer X, I ground off the keyring, but on like this Compact or the Super Tinker or the Cadet, is it's got this little keyring. And what I'll do is I'll put just a paracord lanyard where I've kind of taken the guts out of it, and then I'll put it in there this direction so that the lanyard is like that. And those paracord lanyards, when they've got, I don't know if you put like beads on your lanyards, what happens, but when it's a very lightweight one, it tends to rise up in your pocket. And with the Cadet especially, but the Compact as well, I can just grab that lanyard, and with this down in my pocket, you know, it's totally hidden. I can just, you know, pull it out with the lanyard, do whatever I'm doing, and it actually holds its shape well enough, or especially with the Cadet, is I can usually just slip it right back down in there without taking this out of my pocket. So I like that. I like the lanyard thing. But with the Pioneer X, which is the main one I've been carrying in here, I do got to take the whole thing out generally. Or sometimes I can kind of sneak this hand down in here and I'll kind of pin this in my pocket and pull it, but it's not usually what's going to work out. So, yeah. The only complaint I have with it is if I'm using it and I'm getting sweaty, if I'm working, is with this up against my leg when I start getting sweaty, is it will cause it to get extra sweaty behind here, and then it'll kind of rub a little bit, and that's pretty uncomfortable. So when I start getting sweaty, I will usually take this out of my pocket because it's just uncomfortable. But that's really the only complaint I have. It does exactly what I wanted it to do in the exact form factor I wanted to do it. It's perfection. You know, I've only carried it for, I don't know, a month or so. and probably less than that, I don't know. Whenever that other video came out, that was probably like a week after I got it. But anyways, my initial impressions video of this, anyways, what I'm referring to. But yeah, it's pretty great. Would I recommend buying it? If you want to carry a pocket or a Victorinox style pocket knife in the pockets that I'm talking about with the sideways entrance, I think you should use a slip. And whatever variety if you want, if this size or smaller, just to keep it from frickin' falling out of your pocket. And the amount of firepower you get with this and how comfortable it is, I don't see why you wouldn't do this whole thing, to me. So yeah, I recommend it. But there's one last note that this guy here was hanging out to kind of add his input on, is I had a kind of an epiphany after this had been mentioned to me so many times. Technically speaking, this Midnight Manager pretty much does everything that's in here. Got a light? Well, there's a light. Got a pen? There's a pen. And this one, it writes similar to the Fisher because it is nitrogen filled, so you can write upside down and all that crap. So it's actually similar. So that takes care of those two things. In terms of the Pioneer X, you know, the scissors is a big one. It's got a great driver. It's got a knife, which is not great, but it does the job in terms of opening crap. It's got a file, which the Pioneer X does not. And on the combo tool, that is a bottle opener there. So this actually does a lot of what the Pioneer X does, and it does what those two things do. It's not as nice to write with, although the writing is similar. It's definitely not as bright, but it accomplishes a lot of the same tasks. So that's not to bash this, but more to very highly compliment this. I haven't carried this one enough yet to really know its pitfalls in terms of the scale tools here, but I mean, it's a Rambler is what it is, and I love me some Rambler, so I know all about that, about the internal tools. But fruit for thought anyways. If you want something like this that doesn't have quite the kick, but really gets the job done, maybe think about the Midnight Manager. But if you're looking to put your bigger Swiss Army knife in there, I think this is a sweet route to go. Especially if you found the champagne color A-locks and then got the bronzed out Streamlight Micro Stream, which is the light I've got here. And then I've done this before, but I'll do it again. For lights that'll fit, 15.5 millimeters bezel diameter will fit in there. Now that would be a sick kind of, brass carry. But that's all I've got. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. And God bless America.